Welcome, Empire fans, to tonight's podcast of Williamsburg football. I'm speaking with head coach Rob Woodward. First of all, Coach, congratulations with your win against Waverly. Waverly definitely has a lot of speed, and I thought the defense really stepped up against that speed of Waverly. What were your thoughts about the game?
Yeah, I thought our defense played extremely well. I mean, they were locked in from a secondary standpoint to our guys up front. I mean, right from the very first play of the game, we worked to control the line of scrimmage up front, and be an attacking style defense, and that led to 6 turnovers for us. Some of those were definitely as much on Waverly making the turnovers, but what we did with those turnovers was execute and put points on the board, and that's what you got to do. To be a good football team, you got to make sure that when a team makes a mistake, you capitalize on the mistake, and our guys did that, just that.
2 players that played well in that game, of course, everyone saw Micaiah Matthews, but a person that's really not been heard of, but I know he does well, is Brady Warner.
Yeah, Brady Warner plays up front on our D-line, and he's just kind of one of those guys that grind it out up there in the interior, and he's taking on double teams, and he's aligning himself in different techniques on different players, and absorbing blocks and keeping it off our linebackers so they can go up and make plays. And but Brady himself got in on I think 6 tackles there, and had a great game himself up front, really putting pressure on the quarterback and doing a nice job.
One particular play that I point out of him was that I think he was head up. He wasn't in any kind of technique. Looks like he was straight up, and he just bull rushed the guy blocking him and almost took him into the back of the quarterback, but shed him off and almost had the quarterback sacked there. That was an impressive play.
Yeah, Brady's extremely strong. His brother Mitchell Warner was a player for us and was always outstanding in the weight room. Brady's the same way. Just a junior for us, so he's got years to continue to improve and grow. But I thought all our guys up front, Chase Stidham, Tanner Wilson, Brady Warner, Mason Johnson, and then if you noticed, Kevin Meadows got a little time there on the D-line, as well as Blake Richardson, and they helped to provide a little bit of that stoutness that we've kind of been lacking up there at times in certain situations when we want to be able to just maybe not put as much pressure, but maybe just hold the line of scrimmage and fill up all those gaps. Those guys did a nice job of that, and it's been a nice mix that our coaching staff's, I think, done a great job of utilizing the players and talent that we have.
I'd agree, because last year you had the luxury of kind of holding the box with 6 guys, and this year you've had to bring in some more beef to hold that. The development of those players. Is there any other players developing down on the D-line that possibly might see some action?
Well, Balin Haywood's another name that we throw in there every now and then. But last week was really the first time that we'd used Kevin Meadows at times. And Kevin's a 6'4", 235-pound playing right tackle for us. But Kevin's extremely strong and really got a big, large wingspan. So he really can absorb a lot of room down there in those gaps. And he's got a quickness and athleticism about him, much like C.J. Hall last year, when he feels pressure and is able to spin off of that and put himself back to where the ball is. He's continuing to improve down there. And as I mentioned, Balin Haywood's another one that's got good, quick feet. Of course, we got Mason Johnson, who's not a big guy, but, man, he's flying all around. So him and Brady Warner and then Stidham and Richardson, of course, is, a big body in there, and Tanner Wilson. But we've also been using Ethan Goody, who's another player that we've been using on the offensive line. And Ethan just plays with really good leverage and is very aggressive. He plays that defensive end spot. Kind of comes in sometimes there, can spell Chase Stidham at times at the D-line. So he's another one. So there's about 8 or 9 guys that we can utilize up front and keep fresh legs out there at different times. And I think our coaching staff is trying to really is starting to figure out who we can utilize best in certain situations to get the most productivity out of that group.
If we flip on the other side of the ball there to the offensive line, how do you feel that your offensive line has gelled up until this point?
Well, I was just talking to Steve Sutton, who helps coach the offensive line tonight. I think our offensive line is doing a darn good job. I mean, they are getting better and better, and we said early on that they were better than we were last year at the early stages. And we've continue to kind of work some of those guys. We've got a lot of tenacity down there, which is what you want to have. Just trying to perfect and fine-tune some of their footwork and some of the things that they do. Down there, we've got, again, Kevin Meadows at the right tackle. Caleb Johnson and Ethan Goody have been splitting time at the left tackle. Caleb came in, and Caleb's extremely aggressive, but still kind of young and inexperienced with some of the things, but did a great job last week for us. Ethan also splits time at the right guard with Gavin Welch. Gavin's a big body, and Ethan's a big lanky guy that again uses leverage very well. And then of course Richardson's over on the other side, and he's big and extremely mobile. Blake's like having a running back at 285, 290 on the offensive line. I mean, he really moves well. He's been doing a great job of pulling, blocking down, big body. He understands how to use that body to block. And then Balin Haywood at the center position is just great with his initial headbutts, basically his initial initiation of contact from the center position is extremely great, and he brings a great physicality to the offensive line. Will Whitley's been backing him up too. We use Uriah Wilburn a little bit at the tackle, Drew Blair at the tackle and guard position, Drew at tackle and Uriah at guard, and it's given us a lot of people to work in there at that offensive line and try to, again, keep fresh legs out there and keep teams on their heels by really just wearing them down with our guys up front.
You move on to Memphis, and Memphis is another team that has had a successful season. What does the Falcons bring to Ed Miller Stadium that might present some problems?
Well, what I've seen out of the Falcons is the ability to come back from adversity and excel. They've done a nice job, and the majority of their points have been scored in the second half of ball games. So they've really gone in and looked at how they can improve at halftime of games, made adjustments, and gotten better. They've come from behind a couple of times. So, they're a tested team. They've got some injuries going on right now, but they've got a lot of size up front. So that line of scrimmage is going to be extremely important in terms of how we control that and how we use things. And we've got, of course, our skilled position players. We've got to continue to put the pedal to the metal and put the gas on them, both on offensive and defensive mindset of those guys in the secondary, so that we can be always applying the pressure in both regards. And the same thing with special teams. We want to take advantage of any opportunities we can with our skilled guys on that as well.
Coach, it's always good to be back home, playing in homecoming, and got a couple games there. Any more final thoughts before we get off this week?
I told our team after the Waverly game, something clicked last week. I saw us turn a corner that I've been really waiting for all year. I've been pleased with our play, but I just hadn't felt like we had really gelled like I needed, like a coach, like you want to see out of your team, until last week's practice. Something clicked. I don't know, maybe a date hit the calendar or something. We got into week 6. Maybe it was just seeing those 3 letters of SOC ahead of a team, an opponent that we're getting ready to play. But our guys really turned it up last week, and it showed in the ball game on Friday. We've seen the same thing this week out of our players. We had an excellent pregame practice tonight. Guys really locked in, dialed in. Coach Caskey, I thought, did a great job offensively with the game plan that he has. Coach Johnson with the game plan he has. I mean, our guys are on a path of growth and development, which is what set us apart last year and led us to the success that we have. So I think we've kicked things off great as we enter into the SOC, and this week is another SOC game. We're excited to be playing at Ed Miller Stadium, and our Pirates will be ready to go.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, thank you.